So, okay, moving on to everybody's favorite segment, Hog of the Week.
Let's go.
Hey, recognize that hog there?
Yeah.
My favorite. One of the best hogs around.
Damn, you guys didn't have to. You could have at least kept the beanie on. You know what I'm saying?
We did it without the beanie. You can't even recognize him without the beanie.
That's like the one photo that exists.
That is, of course, Tim Pool, the most notorious grifter. One of the most notorious grifters for sure on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Famously called me a flaming bag of flaming. And
He's very disappointed in you.
Yeah, he
bag of turd, flaming turd bag.
Yeah, so this is what he tweeted out yesterday. He said, first it was the mask mandates. Then it was the vaccine mandates. What comes after vaccine mandates? Do you know what does? COVID ending.
Yeah. Devastating. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it's like, what does he think? Like internment camps or something?
Yeah.
I got him pretty good. I want to give myself a shout out. Yeah, COVID ending. Got him,
you did get him.
Get wrecked, bitch.
And I'm going to get pissed off about it.
Yeah, I know you are. Big mad. Yeah, so this is the big brain conservatives that just you'll find on YouTube. He's itching for civil...
Wait, that's 49 state landslide Trump victory, Tim Pool.
I know.
I mean, that's
maybe even 50.
Yeah, astute political analysis.
So Tim Pool has been going on and on about how basically the vaccine mandates rolling out are going to result in civil war, for example. He's salivating.
He always says that. This is his like one shtick. Everything is civil war. Everything is civil war.
Pool, we should call him.
He constantly is like saying, the BLM protests are actually going to turn into civil war at this point, folks. It's like, no. It's no.
But he fantasizing about armed conflict between Americans. I mean, he wants it.
Well, because he's tailoring it to his hog audience that for some weird reason still thinks he's like a liberal or something. I don't know.
So yeah, him like Dave Rubin have this same shtick where they're like disaffected liberals.
Well, and Dave actually gave up on it, like that, which is foolish.
Good.
He like Dave now says like, I'm a libertarian, and it's like, well, you kind of fucked up because like Tim at least still maintains that like I used to work at Vice, so of course I myself am a liberal. I'm a progressive.
I'm more liberal than most people I know.
Yeah,
I'm more liberal than most people I know.
Get new friends, dog.
Yeah.
The fuck?
So here he is salivating for the Civil War. He says, "Get ready," and he quotes the 3.5 trillion stimulus or the Build Back Better thing coming out here. Hopefully, the Biden administration has included a vaccine enforcement mechanism in the 3.5 trillion. 2,000-page Build Back Better bill, which will enable the government to enforce fines on employers whose employees do not get vaccinated. So he's saying there's a forced vaccine mandate coming. War is coming. The problem with this whole argument, here's some of the replies, just to show you guys just how fucking amped up this. He's ready to just start handing out guns at this point. This will lead to bloodshed, said the insightful Mark Lobliner. Haha, civil war, here we come. That's the best case scenario. Being from South Carolina, I'm truly ready for secession.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys will be good. You guys will be way better off.
That went great last time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, will not happen. No real patriots left to fight. Yeah, because they're all dead from COVID.
We're losing all of our great patriots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take that ivermectin. Told you this ends with revolution or enslavement. I don't see them stopping now. The madness is used to justify further madness. The problem with Tim Pool is that he's a fucking liar. He lies about everything to fulfill his weird fantasy of a civil war. The problem with his argument is that the provision tells employers of huge companies they need to force their employees to get vaccinated or test them weekly for COVID-19.
I'm pretty sure that's the same as slavery, I think.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah, right. That is basically internment
I'm sorry,
camps.
I'm going to get pissed off about that.
But that's the thing. He says they're forcing everyone to get vaccinated. They're not. They're testing vaccinating, or they have to pay to test people.
Which, by the way, they should.
That makes sense.
They should force
like-
everyone to get vaccinated.
Right, but
Unless they have like a serious, medical condition or allergies, they should be forced to get vaccinated. I'm full blown in support of vaccine mandates. I don't know. I mean, America will never be able to do it because everyone hates federalism.
I don't know if I'm in favor of full blown vaccine mandate, because at the end of the day, I think what I'm in favor of is making it so inconvenient for people that don't want to get vaccinated that they're kind of like have to make. But I like the idea of forcing the companies to make them get COVID-19 tests on a weekly basis, and they're going to be forced to be like, this is just fucking inconvenient, I'm going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
But he's misframing.
No, that's what I mean when I say
lying.
like
he's fucking lying.
When I say vaccine mandates, that's precisely what I mean as well. Like for federal travel, you enforce vaccine mandates, not through like private companies, not through like a patchwork system, which is of course the only way we can ever enact anything nowadays, which is really sad in my opinion. But do it through a travel mandate, or you need to have a vaccine or at least like a vaccine passport to travel. I think it's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, travel makes sense to me, and federal employees make sense to me.
Yeah, that's how you get inconvenienced enough that you're like, yeah, I'm going to go get it even if I don't want to. And you see a lot of people doing that.
I mean, I don't have a problem with like individual airlines. They should decide if they want to do vax mandate, because like I would way rather fly with an airline that enforces that you have to be vaccinated to fly.
Yeah, I want all of them
have
to
like
do it.
MAGA airline where everyone goes and gets COVID, and God bless them.
But the problem there is like there's still going to be employees there, you know what I mean? And they're not going to be protected. They're going to be surrounded by people, and they're just like, I don't have any other option. I'm working at this MAGA Airlines, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no problem. Actually, I have no problem just saying for air travel, because that's regulated. There's like a regulatory body that governs that.
Schools should mandate it as they have and as they will. The military should do it as they have and as they are. And same with air travel as well. These are ways that you inconvenience people to a degree where it's like, yeah, I'm going to go out and get it, especially because it's safe and
just
effective.
Fucking drive then, dude.
Yeah. And big events as well.
Right.
And Lollapalooza was like, from what I understand, basically a success story, which we didn't really even talk about. I mean, you saw those videos. People are fucking crammed together.
That was 150, a vax-only event.
150 new cases. Vax only or same day PCR test, like same day negative COVID test.
Oh, that's interesting. So they didn't even
do a full blown.
Interesting.
Yeah, but most people that traveled and went to it were vaccinated.
That's
150 new cases only from that massive thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I think college campuses are kind of enforcing similar things as well. And it's good. It's an effective way to stop people from getting COVID and getting hospitalized. So I'm in favor of it. I've been in favor of it, and I will continue to be in favor of it. I think public safety measures will have a little bit of authoritarianism baked into it, but that's just how it is. That's everything that the government regulates is technically authoritarian. If you want to do murder, you can't, because the government is excluding you in an authoritarian capacity by saying you're going to go to jail if you do a murder.
And I'm going to get pissed off about it.
You see what I'm saying?
But the truth is, I think, is that he's fucking lying. Like what he's putting forth is, if you are a private citizen working for a private company, you can't even get a job unless you get vaccinated, which is not fucking true.
Yeah.
President Joe Biden's new vaccine mandate for large businesses is a strange one, and in it that it does not actually make vaccine mandates for roughly 80 million Americans it's aimed at. Tucked plainly in the rules is a singular and obvious opt-out. Unlike federal employees and contractors, those in the private sector can test for coronavirus on an at least weekly basis. There. So got it. But
they did it through OSHA, right?
Interesting.
And that is precisely why it's like incredibly constitutionally protected. Like they did it through OSHA, and it's a workplace safety requirement.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense. OSHA, on the other hand, is of course severely underfunded. You're never going to see an inspector. People that work in any kind of industry probably have never even seen an OSHA person. I hope they implement like a snitching system, because it's a $14,000 fine.
Right.
If your employer does not enforce the vaccine mandates and or regular testing, weekly testing, and this is the really important part, if they don't give you time off, if you do end up getting the vaccine, because that's like a
because if you're not getting compensated and you need the fucking money, you're gonna go to work.
Yeah,
'cause you have to decide between feeding yourself or
And that's the wild part of this that we actually don't ever really consider or think about, is that outside of these like vocal hogs that are running around being like, I'm not gonna get vaccinated, fuck you, I don't want to get cancer or whatever. There's actually a significant chunk of hesitant people that are hesitant because the vaccine is free, but it's still not technically free to get the vaccine, especially if you have to take time off your day to work, if you're working nonstop, and also are worried about like the amount of time that you need to take off when you get the vaccine because you might have some side effects.
Yeah.
And lastly, access to public transit, that you can go to a place where there are vaccines. If you don't have your own car, which many of these rural states,
it's true.
There's horrible public transportation. So we have completely forgotten about those people. I don't think the Joe Biden administration anymore is doing like enough to reach out to those people that would still get vaccinated. The OSHA provision, factors that in, so that's a good thing. I agree with that. But like, public transit should still be a important way to allow people to go out and be able to get the vaccine if they can't, instead of relegating that responsibility to like Uber and Lyft to offer free rides. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, they do that?
Yeah, Uber and Lyft were offering free rides for a little bit. I don't know if they're still doing it, but like,
pretty cool.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, private corporations should not do this functionally out of the kindness of their hearts. Like, this is something the government should be doing.
For sure.
It's supposed to take care of you.
Well, Tim Pool went to his show to rant about Civil War and about how you're being forced to get vaccine, even though he's a fucking liar. Here he is, the legendary.
There are many things tucked away in the Democrats' $3.5 trillion spending bill. One of the things tucked away inside it is a vaccine mandate enforcement mechanism. They could fine you $70,000 or maybe
Not
even
you.
$700,000.
We're talking about like Microsoft, not fucking you.
Yeah,
If you
well,
do
he's
not
talking to the small business owners, I guess. Small business with 100 plus employees.
Yeah, it's 200 plus employees
It's,
that are facing.
It's 100.
It's 100.
It's
Oh, 100 plus.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking company if you have 100 employees.
mandate vaccines at your business. There's a bunch of other things in there, and this is typical of how our government has been working for some time. And that proves to me the republic is broken. It's gone. I'm sorry.
It's gone.
You're a fucking liar, bro. You're lying. You
right.
are such a fucking liar.
He's gone, dude. It's gone.
Our republic is gone. The frogs are taking over.
Yeah.
Now, man, you can buy a COVID vaccine. It comes with, it's made with the finest distilled water, asbesticide, sawdust, and ant droppings.
Suck at a ding dong.
You put it right in your ranch dressing, and you're good to go.
Executive branch of the government is mandating things, just ramming them through. There's no legislative process. There's no separation of powers. Then there's no republic. This may be one of the most egregious actions I've ever seen in my life. $700,000 fines for willful violations of the government's vaccine.
Willful violations. That's literally like, first of all, impossible to prove. And second of all, that means that you have to be like, there has to be written proof of you being like, fuck the government. I ain't enforcing this shit. Hell no.
I mean, here's the reality, and this is why it's great that they're doing it through OSHA. If your workplace is unsafe and you're violating OSHA restrictions, then you're literally putting your workers at risk. And you are going to have to fucking pay a fine for that. So, like, if you have this kind of energy towards the vaccine, like, get upset at hard hats.
Yeah.
And also,
Our republic is falling apart. They're making us wear hard hats.
yeah.
Come on now. Yeah, and also he's fucking lying because it's not forcing anyone to vaccinate, only test per week. And if you have a problem with that, you're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Edict. But you know what? It'll go through Congress. And the courts have no ability to enforce anything against it anyway, even if they said it was unconstitutional.
You're a liar, bro.
So here we go. What happens in 2022 when Republicans sweep? Sure, we see a flipping back and forth with presidents and
Liberal,
with the Tea
by the way.
Party. It happens.
Liberal Tim Pool.
Yeah, he's a liberal. He's very
I'm more
progressive.
liberal than most people I know. Okay?
Yeah.
You know why he wears a beanie?
What? to hide
So
it.
his brain doesn't get exposed to the air. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's open, his dome is open to the air.
he's wrinkly. He's got a lot of wrinkles for sure. Definitely a big brain on that one.
Right.
What happens when one side just refuses to accept it? It makes no sense for Republicans to legislate Democrat cities and states, and it makes no sense for Democrats to legislate Republican cities and states. All we do now is say the federal government should mandate you do something. How about this?
Is that the point of the
How
federal
about you
government?
leave me alone, I leave you alone. If New York wants to have mandates, then go ahead, fine.
It's the
I'll
federal
leave.
government, dipshit. We have federal laws.
Yeah, thank God.
Like, this isn't, that's how it works, bro.
Yeah, it's so insane.
We outlaw abortion, and you say we got to get back. We do us, and you do you.
It's wild because, I mean, first of all, there's more Republicans in this state of California than there are in, like, 5 other Republican states combined. So let's not forget that there are 6 to 8 million Republicans living in the state of California.
Yeah.
So, we are technically owning them by enforcing rules on them. Part of the reason, and there are liberals in states like Texas. So
Listen, out here in Texas, we do what we want. Black people can't use the same water fountain as us.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
You mind your own business over there.
Which is precisely why there needs to be federalism in this situation.
There's federal fucking laws for a reason, dipshit.
Yeah, and this is a public
And of course,
safety.
he believes
measure.
that too. He's inconsistent. It's like,
Yeah.
you think everyone should have access to guns. If California outlawed guns, would you really say you do you and we do us? No, of course not.
No, same with abortion. Well, maybe not Tim Pool, but most Republicans are doing their very best to completely eviscerate Roe v. Wade, and seeing some success in Texas. So it's all. That part is just, everybody knows. He's a liar. He's a hypocrite. Everyone does it. At least I'm honest when I'm like, I want vaccine mandates. Like, I say it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan. It's just, but like I said, every single federal regulation could be criticized in this exact same capacity, all the way down to like seatbelt mandates in cars, which again also was enforced through a patchwork mechanism.
We
Where,
lost our republic then, boys.
where the government
Making us wear
forced car
seatbelts.
manufacturers to put seatbelts in.
Yeah, I remember.
Rather than
And when it happened, it was very unpopular. And now nobody got a problem with seatbelts.
because you're nailing it. We have a profound ability to adapt and totally forget about all this shit. And Republicans will like make a big stink about it, make a big fuss about it, and then ultimately shut the fuck up because they recognize that it's working. And
Once they lose the fight or they are unable to grift from it because it's old news, then
they move on to the next thing.
Exactly.
What happened? No more Antifa. No more critical race theory in schools.
there's no more caravans.
Yeah, no more immigrant caravans and stuff like that, because this is the new thing that like they want you to get upset at and they want you to hyper focus on. Except, once again, good public health measure overall.
Let's see what else you got.
But that's not what's happening. They are just deciding that it doesn't matter where you live in this country, there is no republic. And as much as people want to say, Tim, don't be so pessimistic, guys, please, friends, when one side is fighting over control of the centralized federal government to enforce their will on other states, no matter if it's red or blue,
Federal law, bro.
there is no republic.
That's the
And the main
definition
problem
of
with this
federal
is,
law. Why are you
we
so
don't
mad
want
about
people
this?
breaking the law. Sometimes there are laws that are broken and it helps. Notably, like slavery, for instance. In order to end slavery, there needed to be widespread sentiment challenging the law. It was illegal and freeing slaves. Those people were criminals.
Just like the vaccine, just like masks.
It's so stupid. These guys complaining about like federalism and whatnot, as though they're like in favor of smaller government.
We just want to break apart. We just want states.
Dick Cheney, Bill Barr, George W. Bush. Most of these Republicans operate on unitary executive theory, and they have greatly expanded on the executive power, which Barack Obama took advantage of when he murdered an American citizen with a drone strike, and an extrajudicial drone strike, by the way.
Shout out.
What?
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Drone King Barack Obama. But that's like, it's ridiculous to act like either of these like parties genuinely hold like an ideological value that revolves around freedom or whatever. And guess what? These sorts of vaccine mandates, ultimately these public health measures, they offer you extra freedom when you fucking get the vaccine and you don't have to wear a mask anymore or have to cry about it any fucking more if that's what you like doing with your friends on the weekend. Freedom doesn't mean anything if you're fucking dead. If you have a vent in your throat and you're dying alone, scared, and your family members can only look at you from the other side of that fucking glass window in this like overcrowded hospital system, then what kind of freedom you have? You have no freedom. Doesn't matter.
I mean, this argument is as ancient as America itself. I mean, think back. George Washington himself, the first president, the father of America, had a vaccine mandate during the fucking Revolutionary War. We
used to forcibly inoculate people in New York for smallpox. Cops would literally go into buildings and like sit people down and, handcuff them and forcibly inoculate them because there's anti-vaxxers back then too.
You know what? And nobody's complaining about smallpox not being here, killing their fucking kids.
Yeah.
I don't hear Tim Pool mourning the fact that smallpox, I know he's not married or will never find a relationship or start a family.
Because of feminism.
Yeah, but like if that was on the table for him, he wouldn't be complaining about smallpox being gone. We're almost done with this.
Now you just spoke it into existence. Now, conservatives pro smallpox.
Yeah.
Like right next to pro COVID.
I'm going to a smallpox party to get that natural immunization.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Isn't that crazy? Well, what's going to happen when the authoritarians want a system similar to slavery and there is nothing you can do to speak out against it? Why? Are you dissenting?
We're sending the anti-vaxxers to the work camp, boys.
Yeah.
Round them up.
And there's Norway lifts COVID-19 restrictions, moved to highest travel warning level by CDC, right? He's like about to pull that up to like complain about that. Interesting thing about Norway, of course, is that the amount of total doses administered or one dose administered at least is at 77.8% in Norway, okay, since they got the vaccine, which they got later than we did, of course.
Everyone did.
They're at 77%, and their fully vaccinated population is at 68.1%. For the United States, of course, well, that number is a little bit lower. At least one dose is, in the United States, the at least one dose number is at 64%, fully vaccinated at 56%.
Damn.
So half of our country is like not fully vaccinated and refusing to get it. And it's insane to me. So yeah, Norway gets to have fun, which by the way, this will probably backfire on them too. That's what usually ends up happening. Whenever you take your hands off the reins a little bit, you immediately start seeing additional COVID cases and a big spike.
Right.
But of course, Tim will never cover that secondary side effect.
Yeah. It's all cherry picked.
Yeah.
Social credit score goes down. Better keep your mouth shut and fall in line. Eventually, people are going to lose their minds.
Credit.
I'm gonna fucking.
This is the direction we're going in.
I want to handcuff this motherfucker to a chair and force a vaccine in his arm. By the way, he's definitely vaccinated.
Oh yeah, Tim Pool is definitely vaccinated. Well, he's a liberal.
Businesses
remember?
being fined upwards of $700,000. What business can handle that?
To
You've got
Coca-Cola
100 employees,
companies with over 100 employees, you fucking dipshit.
Sure.
Also, here, you know how
you may be
businesses can handle that?
Just
get
people.
fucking vaccinated and test
Exactly.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Like that's it.
Right, you're definitely having revenues over 700K, but your profit margin, 15-20% maybe if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And then they say we're fining you, and then your business is shut down, and all those people lose their jobs.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
The suffering
ever.
is
That
the
won't
point.
happen.
I'll leave it there.
That will happen 0 times.
That literally will happen 0 times.
That will happen 0 times.
Yeah. So Tim Pool out here, he's
I hope it does happen.
salivating for the Civil War. Shout out to Tim Civil War Pool, Hog of the Week. Congratulations.
Bag of turd, flaming turd bag.
The reason why it won't happen is because, like these guys, they just want to go to the fucking Applebee's. They want to go to the food court. They want to go to the mall. They want to yell at the mall at like minimum wage employees there to be like, you're a Gestapo enforcing this like unconstitutional rule on me. You're violating my HIPAA rights, whatever the fuck they think is like going on. And that's it. At the end of the day, like that's all they care about is just like having a little fun with the boys by fucking screaming at 17-year-olds working at the mall.
One last